Today, we're going to be talking about the most dangerous belief in society. This belief, although seemingly innocuous, is actually one of the most harmful beliefs ever, and guess what? Almost everyone believes it. This belief is ancient. It's baked into our social survival wiring. For early humans, being different from the group often meant exile, no food, no protection. So the brain evolved to treat consensus as truth, and conformity as safety. But here's the problem. We're not in caves anymore. We're in a post-industrial world. And that same wiring is now being exploited by governments, corporations, influencers, and systems built to extract, distract, and control. The belief? If everyone's doing it, it must be right. The evidence trail, where everyone believed it, and it turned out to be dead wrong. The Earth is flat. Nearly all ancient civilizations believed this. Anyone who questioned it, mocked, exiled, or killed, they were wrong. Geocentrism, the Earth as the center of the universe, enforced for over 1,000 years by the Church. Galileo was arrested for saying otherwise. They were wrong. Slavery is normal. For thousands of years, accepted by empires and religions. Everyone's doing it, was the justification. They were wrong. Women are biologically unfit to vote or own property. This was considered common sense for centuries. They were wrong. Cigarettes are healthy. Doctors endorsed them. Media praised them. Millions died. They were wrong. Asbestos is safe. Lead is safe. Sugar is harmless. Climate change isn't real. These were consensus positions. They were wrong. Go to school, get a job, retire at 65. Then, start living. Sold as a dream, lived as a trap. Burnout, midlife crisis, deathbed regrets. They were wrong. The system isn't malicious, it's just slow. It takes decades, sometimes centuries, for institutions to admit their truths are obsolete. By the time they do, they've already hurt millions. The cost of challenging consensus is personal. The cost of obeying it is collective. Consensus doesn't protect you, it only delays the reckoning. Here's the turning point. If everyone is doing it, becomes your metric for truth, you've already lost. Everyone can be wrong. Everyone has been wrong. Everyone is often wrong, even now. They just don't know it yet. Rightness isn't about numbers, it's about alignment. The only question that matters is, does this choice move me closer to vitality, integrity, clarity, and peace, or does it just push me further away from it? If everyone is doing something, and it's killing your inner life, then everyone is wrong for you. You don't need to shame them. You don't need to argue. You just need to step out. You're not insane for questioning the crowd. You're sane for refusing to numb yourself just to stay inside it. You're not abandoning truth. You're leaving the slowest learners behind. Consensus has never protected the first one awake. The real danger is that this belief short-circuits self-trust. It makes you hand your internal compass to the crowd, the algorithm, or an institution. You start outsourcing reality. Is this job good for me? Well, everyone wants it, so it must be. Do I love this partner? Well, we look good together and everyone approves. Am I happy? I hit all the milestones. Isn't that enough? This belief kills individuation, kills sovereignty, and kills your capacity to say no. Without that no, everything collapses. Art becomes mimicry, morality becomes obedience, spirituality becomes branding, truth becomes a popularity contest. And the systems, political, cultural, economic, don't need you to love them. They just need you to not question them. This belief ensures that. So, yes. If everyone's doing it, it must be right is the root rot. It's the most dangerous belief in civilization. It weaponizes your deepest need to belong, and turns it into a tool for your containment. If you kill this belief, you become ungovernable, not in the anarchist sense, in an internal sense, no longer programmable, no longer seducible by consensus, no longer movable by shame. You become a sovereign being. That's why it's the most dangerous belief, because removing it makes you free. And free people are system breakers. Now, here's the second most dangerous belief in society. These two beliefs are actually intertwined. One is the root, and the other behaves like an accelerant. This is the belief. Some people are not real. This is the belief that justifies cruelty. It allows us to harm, ignore, exclude, or erase others, and still sleep at night. It is the belief that some lives don't carry the same worth as others. This belief doesn't often appear in that form. It disguises itself. It hides behind slogans, policies, aesthetics, economic logic, even spiritual language. But at root, this is the engine of dehumanization, the root of violence, the cosmic fracture that underlies slavery, genocide, exploitation, abuse, and spiritual collapse. Let's unpack it. The idea that some people are not real means that they don't feel like I do. They don't hurt like I do. They don't dream like I do. They don't count in the same way I do. This is the psychic license for oppression, indifference, disregard, and collateral damage. It is what makes atrocity seem logical. It's embedded in systems, not just individuals. It appears when a worker is a resource, a prisoner is a number, a refugee is a problem, a population is a threat, an artist is a brand, or a culture is backward. Dehumanization is most dangerous when it becomes invisible, when it becomes completely normal. It rewires our empathy and our imagination. Once someone becomes less real, we stop imagining them as selves. They lose their depth, dignity, complexity, and the right to mystery. This is how cruelty survives in good people. They simply stop seeing the full humanity in others. It becomes internalized. When you live in a society that treats people as unreal, you may eventually start treating yourself that way, numbing yourself to your needs, overperforming to earn visibility, and feeling ashamed of existing without proof, are all symptoms of this effect. This is where the belief becomes not just dangerous, but devastating. It is the inverse of love. To love is to say, I see that you exist, and I won't look away. To dehumanize is to say you don't really matter, you're not here anyway. That is the root metaphysical sin in almost every wisdom tradition. The counterbelief to this is every person is a sovereign reality, not a symbol, not a role, not a function, a whole world. This doesn't mean naivety, and it doesn't mean we excuse harm. It means we never collapse another's being into a label. We fight systems that treat people as unreal, and we watch carefully for where we do it in ourselves. If belief 1 is everyone's doing it, therefore it must be right. This is mass conformity, the erosion of critical thought, conscience, and self-responsibility. It's dangerous because it outsources truth to momentum. Historically, this belief is what allows atrocities to scale. Everyone's using slaves. Everyone's supporting the regime. Everyone's clicking, scrolling, consuming. So it must be normal. It is the belief that mass behavior equals moral correctness. And if belief 2 is, some people are not real, this is dehumanization, the collapse of empathy, dignity, and shared reality. It's dangerous because it erases the soul of the other, reducing human beings to labels, threats, or abstractions. Where mass conformity dulls your judgment, this belief licenses cruelty. They're not like us. They do not feel pain the way we do. They deserve what they get. It is the belief that some people fall outside the circle of moral concern. The combination of these two beliefs is catastrophic. If everyone is treating them like they're not real, it must be okay to treat them that way too. This is how genocide happens. This is how slavery lasts centuries. This is how depression becomes epidemic while society tells you to grind harder. One belief makes the harm acceptable, the other makes it invisible. The core mechanism. So if mass conformity says if everyone's doing it, it must be right. And dehumanization says that group isn't fully human, so they don't count. The combination of mass conformity and dehumanization leads to scalable harm without resistance. Together, they form a belief system that allows any atrocity to be carried out by ordinary people, without resistance, without guilt, and at industrial scale. So if mass conformity hijacks the survival brain, and dehumanization suppresses empathy, when both are active, the human conscience is bypassed. Result: you become capable of participating in cruelty without even seeing it as cruelty. This is not abnormal behavior, it's programmed, unless interrupted. Culture, how it becomes socially acceptable. In culture, this shows up in eras where a scapegoat group is created, such as immigrants, Jews, witches, rebels, slaves, etc. And mass consensus justifies action against them, such as laws, silence, approval. Just a few examples. Slavery in the US. Mass conformity, everyone owns slaves. Dehumanization, they're not fully human. The Holocaust. State-sponsored conformity, follow orders. Total dehumanization, they are vermin. Colonialism, conformity of empire with the dehumanization of natives. Online bullying mobs, consensus of shame coupled with a digital disconnection from humanity. The fusion of these two beliefs makes violence feel noble, or worse, normal. History, how it repeats. This belief pairing never dies, it just mutates. From the Inquisition to witch trials, eugenics to algorithmic discrimination, gas chambers to cancel culture mobs, which has just scaled down psychosocial warfare. Mass harm is not committed by monsters, it's committed by the ordinary, when their minds are surrendered to consensus, and their hearts are shut off to the other. Why this combination is so deadly? On its own, mass conformity is passive, and dehumanization is repellent, but together, they create the illusion of virtue. Everyone agrees, and those people don't deserve empathy. Therefore, I am right, they are wrong. Action is justified. How to break it? To interrupt this combination requires sovereignty, the freedom and willingness to diverge from crowdthink, radical empathy, the refusal to dehumanize, even when it seems easier to do so, moral courage, being willing to say no, alone, and early. You must choose to see what no one else wants to see, and feel what others refuse to feel. That's the crack in the machine. That's the rebellion. All this is to say, are you actually willing to do what it takes to become somebody that wouldn't have been a Nazi? It's something worth thinking about, I think.
Thanks for watching.